Greg's getting. Let's see if it. Why does it show it just me? That's not good. Okay, it's working. Ugh. We're gonna try it. It's looking pretty laggy, and so we might just do a quick catch up episodes. But
I'm good with that, man.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
not like anything.
sounding
Not like
terrible, which is good.
like I can hear you fine. So.
I'll exit out of Facebook. All right. Welcome to Tubers Deep. We've had 3 weeks off. We're going to do the show until somebody tells us it's too laggy that we can't hear each other, and just don't look at our faces.
No, definitely don't look at our faces. It's been 3 weeks. Holy shit! I didn't realize that.
Yeah. 3. So I guess I got to do it to my ear. 2, 1, action. Yeah. We had last week off because my parents were here and we went to see Maverick. We had the week before that off because was that when you had your concert? Or was that the week before that?
Yes, yeah, it was me. It was me. I'm the problem that week. I had a concert.
Well, I had something too. I think Kat's mom
did
was in
you?
town,
Okay.
so we were doing stuff that week.
I also think that was around the time that you were moving. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Still are. Still are moving into a new place, which is why this setup. We don't really have a good place for the show yet because we'll have to see what we're gonna get a Wi-Fi extender for upstairs, and then hopefully from there my PC can get on the Wi-Fi. Because what I was thinking about too is I was like, we really had Wi-Fi when we did it at my place with Nico, right? Weren't we on the Wi-Fi there?
Yeah, we were. Remember
Laptop?
correctly? Yeah, we definitely were.
Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like 99% sure I was running this off my like AirBook MacBook, which is insane.
Yeah, that's right. Because you didn't have the PC when we were at the apartment with you and Nico. That's right. So we were doing it from the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I only had the PC
It's kind of
down
insane.
here. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. But we'll get some Wi-Fi extender, and we'll either put the PC in the first floor of the house. That way we can work from home there, or just keep it up. Because the only problem is it's like above me is our bed, or the above me is the main bedroom. Kat's existing stuff is in the bedroom, like next to it, so above the Wi-Fi, and then all of my stuff where my streaming and my Xbox are the bedroom at the front of the house, and so it's just the farthest point away from the Wi-Fi. But we're gonna get an extender for up there that should give my PC the ability to stream, and it won't be the worst quality ever. So we'll see.
Well, we shall see. What are you drinking this lovely evening, sir?
I have in this cup, because I was cooking with it, Southern Grist, a brewery in town. It's called Return of the Mac, with a brewery called North Point out in San Diego.
Okay.
But the beer that I cracked is Southern Grist's Logical Fallacy West Coast IPA. That is just
Okay.
their brewing
Okay,
can here in
okay.
Nashville. So those will be my two beverages tonight. What about you?
Can't go wrong with that. I stepped my game up. I've been meaning to. I've been lacking for a while. I'm grateful for the fact that you
you've
haven't
been
called
doing
me out
Icy
for
Light
it
for the
a-
past 6 years.
I
Which
have
is good,
been. I have been. Yes, but I stepped my game up. I don't know if you saw this on socials, but Penn Brewery and Kennywood did a collaboration together, where they made a variety pack of different beers, and the theme of them is based on different rides or former rides from Kennywood. And currently, I am drinking the Lager Hammer or Lager Jammer in honor of the Log Jammer
that's so
from
cool.
Kennywood. Mm-hmm.
That's
And the can design, yeah. So like I bought the 6-pack yesterday because I didn't think that Save More would have it, but yeah, there's like It's just a 6 pack, like brand different beer on each one and stuff like that. That I'm excited to try, and also like a unique one as well too. This is the first time I'm ever drinking a beer where like the top is all black. Like it's really cool. It's a really unique thing I like, but I'm curious if it's like if the reason is that it makes the color and label pop a little more, or it makes it easier to design or something. Because I'm curious about that.
I wonder if it does it feel like it's straight metal because here's what I'm thinking. My
It
thought is
feels
that they
lighter.
put a film can. Yeah, like well they put because the bottom's metal of that can. So my guess is they probably put a
Oh yeah,
pressure
you're right.
like compressed sleeve over top, and that black is a
Mm.
part of the sleeve, and they just have like cutouts for where it pops. Is
Hmm.
the part where the tab hits the can and opens for you to drink? Is that part black?
Yeah, the entire top is black. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's like it's
Nice.
really. I didn't
Yeah.
notice
Oh,
it, but
that's
like
sick.
yeah, you were right. The bottom is neat, but like it adds like a nice contrast to like the entire can design. Because like, honest to God, it, not knocking Penn Brewery or anything, but like they're not known for
No.
unique designs with regards to like their cans and labels. Like they are very much like
Mm.
classic, like
They're known
German
for
style,
Oktoberfest
like
and not.
oh yeah, yeah, like and they're good and they are, but like this is the most creativity I think I've ever seen on a can design from Penn ever. So like they decided to go all out for this, and I'm all for it. So
How's it taste?
it's a solid lager. Can't go wrong with it. It's got a small it's got like a small like malty like background at the end of it, but it's also very refreshing as well, which is exactly what I expect from the Log Jammer ride. In fairness, that is now no longer in existence. R.I.P.
What's hilarious is this is the first time that you've been super crisp, and I look like I'm in a witness protection program.
Hey man, I got the busy Wi-Fi, and I have very few devices on it, so go figure on my part. Ah! And Deke is officially gone from it. This is very fun. Very, very fun, by the way, that I'm the one with the better quality than than Deke on here with all that. Hang on a sec. You dropped from the stream. This is very, very weird that I'm the one with better quality than Deke in this instance. But then again, that's what you get for moving to a new spot, not having the Wi-Fi extender set up, and all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, uh, yeah, beers deep, live and in living color, drinking, enjoying ourselves. Probably not gonna text me back. So, yeah, this is probably gonna not be a long show, long 2 hour setup and stuff. Like I said, Deke's outside enjoying himself, probably cooking from what I could tell on the grill. So this is just a catch up for all of us, for especially for Deke, because Deke's had a lot of stuff that's happened in his life going on, and it's just kind of cool to see him enjoying himself and being happy and all that fun stuff. So we're gonna play a lot of catch up with him because, frankly, for me, I don't not much new in my life, and I don't know if, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's how I am. I'm consistent with that regard. So basically how it is. And honestly, fuck, this is actually a really good lager because Penn Brewery is not known for lagers. Like, give me like any type of German quality type stuff they make, Hefeweizens, Dunkels, and honestly, Oktoberfest. Their Oktoberfest is absolutely killer in that sense. Their nut roll beer is phenomenal, just like Deke said. But I give them I give them credit for trying like some new shit right here because like I looked at that variety pack. There's dry hopped IPA. There's like a strawberry like pretzel something to go with it and all that, and it's pretty cool. Some of the stuff that just me and my thoughts. Just me and my thoughts. Yeah, that is me right now. Yeah, I don't know if Deke's actually gonna get back or not, but we'll see.
So you've been here online the whole time?
Yeah, just chilling.
Okay, cool. No, that's
Yeah, yeah.
great. That's great.
No,
I
no,
was
I
refreshed the
I
page.
figured you were reconnecting, so you're fine.
Let's get
Mm.
through some conversations so we can just drink our beers individually if not. Getting Wi-Fi at the house, finding a better setup. Hopefully, I would say I'm not guaranteeing by next week, but in 2 weeks we'll be back to some version of a regular show, which is exciting and good. I am
Mm-hmm.
engaged. We have a house that people keep asking. I did not buy the house. I have no money to buy a house. Catherine has an amazing amount of money. She's an amazing person. But we
Mm-hmm.
are not buying a house right now. We are renting this beautiful house with a yard. I have a Blackstone I cook on. I build all this outdoor furniture. We have a couch inside. I have no job, which is why I'm able to do all that, which is the main reason that the show has probably been on a hiatus, is that I need to find work, which has been going very well. I just
Mm-hmm.
will figure it out. And so that is the fastest update I can say before I lag out again.
I was expecting to drag that out and be entertaining to some degree, but no, just all at once in all this. This is like the last time we did the show, and you had
Well, the
and you
fact
you
that I
didn't even
finished.
like.
See, I'm saying things, Greg, and then there is a on God 15-second delay until you hear them. Just so you know. And so what I'm going to say is that after this sentence right here, I'm going to stop talking so that you can say whatever you want to talk, and I'm just going to sit here for the 15 seconds and enjoy my beer so that you can go.
I was just gonna say that it is very funny to me that you don't even try to like play up all the news and events and life altering stuff that goes on in all that with this show. You just like go straight into the conversation topic, just like the last time we did the show. And you didn't even like ease yourself into just being like, yeah, I got laid off. You were like just full steam ahead, like within probably like the first 5 minutes of the show. And I'm just like, dude, you were gonna
Well, we
like
did
kind
do
of
this.
ease yourself into it. And he gets dropped again. Oh, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for the Wi-Fi extender to come in for him because this is just really fucking funny. I, for what makes this very great, in my opinion, for the longest time, I have had the worst Wi-Fi quality amongst all three of us, including Josh. From that perspective, when I got my house, one of the first things I did was I got like the tip top notch internet to make sure that I don't lag out, make sure I don't do anything like that. And this is me coming from a Chromebook, by the way. Like I'm not technologically sound. I don't have the best setup because frankly, like I don't necessarily need it as much, and that's my own detriment. But whatever on that one. I
You
this
are
is
going to
so
now receive me with my camera off,
okay
and we are
because
going
it
to
is
see it
actually.
camera off. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say that funny enough, it actually had like a line at the top of your box that said "actual recording and higher quality" because your camera's off.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought, is that maybe camera off will allow me to not be as laggy or terrible, and so we're going to see. Yes, I appreciate everything you said. I forgot we did have a show after I got laid off. I have I made the decision when I got laid off to head on start posting about it, because like I mean we're this is what we've always done, is post about our lives and very transparent and very like this is exactly no questions asked who we've always been. And that decision got me multiple conversations and interviews and freelance opportunities and good people reaching out about working for their company, and a lot of good people saying really nice things. And so it's just a testament to the fact that a little bit of authenticity goes a long way in today's world.
Yeah, in a world of a lot of fakeness and a lot of not being truthful, it's kind of nice having bearing yourself to the world and just kind of letting it see what happens. And from the stuff you've sent me and the stuff we've seen, it seems to be working out pretty well for you, I must say, man. It's kind of like the old adage that good things happen to good people. So go figure.
We
It
will
was a
see. I
blessing,
don't. I
apparently.
don't. I don't want to pretend like anything has happened as of right now.
No,
Whoa, take
no, but
action
I
by
think good.
July 14th or lose your 105 followers. What? Whatever.
Well,
I hate Facebook. 'Cause, yeah,
yeah,
so
I'm
lots of
quite.
good things. Lots of it's obviously a bad thing. I don't ever say like it was awesome, but when I come out on the other end of this, I'll have a lot more to say once I actually get a stable job and everything lined up. because then I'll be able to tell everybody that I think everybody should be laid off from a job they don't want to be at. But until then, I will not be saying that.
Good for you. Wait till you get more income in you, and then talk about that. I like it. It's a solid strategy to live by and go through in life, I imagine.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little sports. I just 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, read a report. There is a latest NFL player who was hurt during fireworks.
Really, I
Did you see
missed
this
that. Who
report?
was it? Oh
It
my
is
God, I
just
just
apparent. Najee
I
Harris.
just got. Oh my God.
Yeah, Najee Harris has firework things happen. It seems to be just on his face, and it would appear that it
Mm.
was not his eyes, and it was not blowing off a finger. But he does have some. I think they use the word like vanity or cosmetic or something along those lines. But I get like the whole. No, I can do it. I'm the big strong man, and I own like, dude. I can only be cautious because I'm not an NFL player. Like they still need to live their lives. Blows my mind that him, that JPP, that any of these guys are the ones lighting the fireworks. Blows my mind.
Here's the thing that I find fascinating about this. Like, wasn't there a provision in Drew Brees' contract when he got that Can-Am sponsorship that he still was not allowed to actually ride a Can-Am until he was retired? How is there not something in contracts that are like, isn't it kind of, I don't even understand the clause necessarily, but isn't it something along the lines of like, hey, don't put yourself in dangerous situations or don't do situations that could potentially cause harm to you in that situation, or else you could potentially be fined or potentially have your contract voided or potentially lose money or potentially lose guaranteed money or bonus is get denied in that situation. Like, it's some of that shit blows my mind. And by the way, this is just a general thing, a general statement that I cannot fucking stand people who have their own fireworks and just light them up like on their own accord. I don't trust most people to be able to light fireworks accordingly. And I know people who buy fireworks on 4th of July and all that shit and actually just go insane for it. And no, just drives me nuts. And the fact that you're an NFL player, that you paid so much money to do this and you're putting yourself at risk,
Yeah.
you're probably drinking. You're probably not in the right state of mind to be able to do this as well. That's just adding more problems to it. So, goddamn, Najee. Like you're
Yeah.
barely hanging on a starting job in the NFL, and then you do something like this where you almost blow off your fingers and stuff. And using JPP is not a great example because JPP still was productive after having his fingers amputated. So
Dang.
don't be like JPP.
He, yeah, the Can-Am thing is accurate. Drew Brees had a Can-Am Spider partnership in which he was not able to drive a Can-Am Spider until after he retired from the Saints. I would assume so. Is there? This is obviously, and the analogy I'm going to make is only being made for the responsibility factor. But
Mm-hmm.
when a player is, it happened in the south side of Pittsburgh. When a player is intoxicated, the team has drivers. The team will reimburse for lifts. The team will do everything to make sure that player gets home safely. And players still decide to drink and drive. Henry Ruggs is a perfect example of that. Rasheed Rice seems to be a perfect example of these situations in which these athletes do believe they are. And again, I don't think they believe they're above the law. I think that everybody has a certain sense in their life where something has gone, what you would say is quote unquote illegal, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
some version of alcohol consumption, whether it's some version of, I don't know, like stealing something small. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, we've all broken the law. Like going past a stop sign is technically breaking the law. So I don't want to,
Technically.
I don't want to sin shame. But at the end of the day, more with the angle I'm getting at is these players have every single thing under the sun for them to not make bad decisions. And I guarantee the team would have given Najee an assistant whose only job is to light the fireworks. It just goes back to I'm sure these guys want to be real human beings, and I'm sure that they want to be uh, lighting fireworks. Like, why can't, I can go light fireworks. Why can't Najee Harris? He's just a human. Yes, but also you are one of the guys who has a job that is a very short time job, a job that is
Mm-hmm.
very insecure, a job that he now has taken a massive pay cut, a 1 year,
like what, two, three, four, something like that, $1 million for the Chargers, who had took a
Mm-hmm.
running back in the first round. And so for me, the other side of it is I know Najee Harris, not personally, but we know Najee Harris, the man, from being a Steeler. That is a great
Right.
man. That is a man who did a ton for the homeless shelter that brought him up. A man who we were very proud to say was a Steeler. A man that we
Absolutely.
wanted to be the running back that he was at Alabama for us. And so it's tough that it's him because I think when he left for the Chargers, everyone at least had a feeling in their gut, like, man, I hope it works out. I hope it's not as good as, we don't want it to be better than he was for the Steelers, but we want Najee to be good. He's a great man. So it's sad to hear this, and I do think it's one of those situations where I'm sure he's now the poster child of what we're talking about, and we'll see. I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad there was nothing detrimental to his career. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel bad that like first of all, the people to have this happen to, like Najee's not someone that I wanted a situation like this to occur in, and it is a good thing that nothing bad happened from this aside from like some facial burns and all that situation, but like you just pointed out as well, like he's already like on borrowed time as just a professional athlete in general. He's even on more borrowed time because of the position he plays, where
Yes.
by the time you're 30, you're essentially cast aside altogether for another situation with all that wear and tear on your body at that point. So, I, taking any type of risk that like can be detrimental to you, not just from the perspective of injuring yourself in your career, but like let's be frank here, like firework accidents can like also be very deadly. I mean, like
Yes.
I'm not like I'm saying 99% of the people are probably know what they're doing and
Fireworks can
stuff
be
like, but
deadly. That can light a house on fire. It can like not even just firework accidents. Fireworks in general. There's a reason they're illegal in some situations, and I understand what the Fourth of July is, but at its core, there's kind of two things. One, man, you have enough money to buy really nice fireworks. You should probably have a. I don't want to be a jerk. You should probably have enough money to hire somebody to do them, or
true,
the equipment or gloves or glass, like, but I get it at the same time too, because like if I set them off, which I never would because I just don't care that much, I'm just not going
right?
to do that. And so, oh yeah, Kat sent me a picture of the screen without my thing. She said I could do the show inside, which I understand and I love and respect her for letting me do the show inside. But she just worked a whole day up in the bedroom, and I don't want to kick her out. And she's in the on the new couch, which I got to enjoy all day because I'm laid off.
Yeah.
She hasn't gotten to enjoy. She's watching TV on the new TV, which I've been able to enjoy all day this whole week, and she has not been able to. So my entire thing was like, yes, but the reason I put my computer in a bedroom is so that you can enjoy the house while I'm doing the show. And she very much was like, well, I want to be near you when you do the show, but I know I'm not one of the bros. And I was like, I totally get, and
One
I
of the
love and adore
bros.
that. Well, she just knows that this is like my guy time and stuff, and it's funny, but it'll probably end up being in the front of the house, which she'll be a part of it there. But she's I think she thinks it's laggy because I'm there. I turned my camera off, and it's just beautiful Greg now.
That's all
Anyways,
you need. That's all you need anymore
that's all
apparently.
you need is Greg's face.
That's all the world needs. Uh,
It is crazy
which
this
by
hard.
the
I
way,
wonder if there's a way for me to just make it your giant face. Probably not.
I don't think so, because like if it is just my giant face, then you wouldn't technically be here and all that. Which, by the way, I did
I'd
want to
just be
bring this
like
up and stuff.
gone.
I have seen you like using the Blackstone a ton since you got that thing. My dad just got a Blackstone too, and he's now discovering the joys of like all the stuff you can make on a Blackstone and stuff.
Yeah.
I figured that you'd be using that thing every day, and I'm glad to see that does appear to be the case.
Yeah, so it's from a buddy, a friend of the show named Sid. He's had it in
Mm,
his backyard. His wonderful, beautiful wife got it for him. So I know that he obviously, we haven't talked about it, but I'm sure she would have liked for him to use it a lot because I know my videos are making a lot of people wish they had a Blackstone and he had one. But
yeah,
he had always
yeah.
told me as a housewarming gift, if I can get it, it's mine. And so Chip and Marsha brought it down, and it's been a blast. I need to figure out what else to cook on it. Obviously, burgers have been my prime one there. I made breakfast the other day where it was diced potatoes and eggs cracked on it and bacon, and it was unbelievable. Kielbasa on it's amazing. Next, so the 19th, I'll have a couple guys over. We're gonna do some steaks on it and chill, and so it's
Hmm.
awesome. The Blackstone is very cool. I know there's going to be a day that I wish I had a traditional grill. There's going to be a
Hmm.
day where I'm like, you know what, some grilled chicken would be nice. But I think that day is 3 years away at this point. That's how much fun I'm having with
Right.
this thing.
Yeah, and I mean grills. So like, grills aren't necessarily like the most expensive unless you like go for something high end and all that. So, but I get what you're saying, and I imagine like with the Blackstone, it's also much easier to clean than a normal grill because of just like the
You
slits
got to
that will like
season
go
it
inside
like
being
a
able to.
cast iron, but yes,
Hmm.
because to your point, you don't need to take that thing off. It's just that piece of metal. And so what I do afterwards, my buddy was telling me, I just put ice cubes on it and it melts the ice cubes into water. And then you scrape into the grease trap in the back. And then when you're done, you're supposed to put some oil on it and then keep it really high so that season it, for lack of a better.
Yeah, and
Um,
I imagine what like because how often you use it and stuff because it's just a metal sheet. I imagine that it gets better the more you use it because there's more of the seasoning and more of like the flavor that kind of seeps into the metal, kind of like a cast iron almost.
yeah, today's the first day since it's been set up I haven't used it. And it got set up
Mm.
last Thursday. So I used it last, maybe I set it up. So I don't remember. I think the first time oh no, I needed a propane tank. That's what it was. So we used it Saturday, we used it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I did not use it today. So I'll probably season it tonight. But I mean, between that, between getting the lawnmower and mowing the lawn, between like building all this furniture, we want to get a couple
Man,
things out here. It's awesome.
you being a lawnmower guy, how's it feel to have that
Well,
responsibility now at your
do
hands? Do you
you
take
have an
pride in
electric
it?
or do
Just
you
out of
have
curiosity.
do you have a gas lawnmower? What's your
I have a
situation?
gas. I have a gas.
Okay. Yeah, dude, here's how I word it. I feel like my electric one, it is sick and I love it. It feels like driving a Tesla because it is quiet and it needs charged a lot, but not like a lot. Like I'm able to do my yard front and back and I'd still have half a charge, which is fine by me. The grass is pretty much there too. But it's funny because you turn it on and it goes
Sounds like my
it
weed
sounds like a
whacker.
very mild weed whacker, which is fun.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
my weed
awesome.
whacker's electric, so I understand. I and what's nice about having an electric mower is that you can do it at any time of day, and I imagine it won't be like a nuisance to anyone in your neighborhood. I'm one of those assholes that like I when I cut my lawn, I cut it early in the morning, so like I wake a lot of people up with that
Hmm.
thing. So, but in fairness, it's I want to get it out of the way with because I have a lot of property to cut. So like at least on your perspective though, you get that electric mower going and stuff. You're pretty quick with yours and all that, and your lawn's looking very very nice. I'll say.
Yeah, the tough thing about the lawn right now is it's a lot of clover and it's a lot of like patches of this crabgrass stuff, and so
Hmm.
it very much. I mean, the clover it grows.
Yeah.
So what I probably need to do is get some kind of small version of a weed whacker for the edges of the fence, just because the mower can't get there. But the yard itself, yeah, it's perfectly fine. Like we had people over for the engagement on Saturday, and people, no one really went out just because it was hot as all heck out here. But like her little cousin was out there running around, and it was cool. And then I just went out there right now and just cleaned up a bunch of dog poop. But like you can see
Mm.
it all because the yard's able to be so small, which is so easy
Yeah.
compared to like anywhere else with so much grass and shoot.
I was gonna say, I imagine it's very hot there in Tennessee since you have a towel just kind of like hanging out with you when you're on camera and
Yeah,
stuff like
Greg
that, just
did
kind of
see
dabbing
me. If
yourself.
anyone's watching, Greg saw me. No one else can see me for the rest of the show. It is hot.
Yeah.
It's been really hot recently, which it'll be hot until mid September ish, which is fine. But the good thing I want for the backyard is like that September October weather. Oh man, it's gonna be sick.
You should turn into one of those guys that brings a towel with you when you go places now when it's like really hot out and stuff. I think you should. I think because hear me out, dude.
I
I was
don't
at a
want to be
I,
that.
I was at a Pirate game like a couple months back with Davis and his friend Rob, and his friend Rob had like I look over and he has like a towel just like tucked into his like left shorts that's just like chilling on his thigh,
Yep.
and I'm like, dude, why do you have a towel with you? And he says to me, bro, it's like in the 90s. Like, what do you expect?
Yep.
And I
Yep.
said, oh,
He knew.
you know what? Fair point. So, hey, I think you should have your own personal towel. Like, who's gonna
Is
stop you
it
from bringing a towel anywhere?
is it disrespectful for it to be a terrible towel? I thought about that because I was like, dude, I don't want to disrespect a terrible towel, but I'm like, a terrible towel in its essence is just a dirty dish rag. And so I'm like, honestly, like a terrible towel being carried around as a sweat rag feels like it would be a huge sign of respect. But I don't know. I don't know.
Is it? I get where you're going with. I don't hate it. It is kind of a big. It is a bit of a abnormally sized towel. I feel like so bringing it places might be a little tough.
Fair, fair,
Um,
fair.
it feels a little. I don't know. I'm trying to think about it. It's a good idea, but it's
As long
also
as it's
like
not
there's some.
disrespectful,
I
I
don't
don't
think
care
it's
about the size.
disrespectful. I don't think it's disrespectful. No, no, you're fine. Because I mean, like, in fairness, like if you ever go to a Steeler game or anything like that, odds are pretty good. Like we've all used like a terrible towel to like seed or like if we're drinking beer or something and we just like kind of dab ourselves or something like that. We've all used a terrible towel like in
Oh
some
yeah,
way to like not to like clean ourselves, but have used it in some way to like brush ourselves in some way. So like it's not disrespectful, I don't think. No.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like
I mean, the other thing is I started to wear. So at Bonner, I wore bandanas and headbands. I want to. So I had a haircut for the proposal because she's always told me she didn't want me to buzz it. I'm about 3 days away from just getting it buzzed. Um,
like completely buzzed.
I've
Like you're
wanted it
going
buzzed
like
forever, and I'm like, honestly, at this point, yeah,
you want to go
kind of
you
make a
want to go like
fade to like
full.
do a half up to.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought you were gonna go like full skinhead for a second with like a two all over or something like that. I'm like, dude, don't get rid of
No.
the length. Don't get rid of the length, man. Like it's a good look for you.
Well, I had length before I got my hair cut, and it was long, but I got it cut because I was like, I know it's going to be humid when I did the proposal, and so I just wanted my hair to look a very specific way. And so
Right.
the pictures love them. Cody did a great job. I think the hair is perfect on it. Now though, the hair is, I mean, it's only maybe an inch and a half, right? And probably I'd say an inch. So my thing is, I'm like, I'm just going to do a buzz for this summer, and then in the wintertime, we'll go back to some version of haircut, and we'll be good.
Yeah, like in the warmer months, like I usually just get like a two on the sides and back, and then the top obviously just kind of like kept some length on it because I'm self-conscious about that, but it's whatever. But I would still say like yeah, at least keep the length going on, but then like just keep everything else like tight to go there, so that way you're gonna have less sweat moving on from down up top on your part.
Yeah, agreed. Let's talk a little football here. I was looking at the list of guys this year. So it doesn't need to be
Okay.
first round, anybody, because the J.K. Dobbins situation. So J.K. Dobbins signed in Denver, which means that anybody who was geeked to see R.J. Harvey have a pretty clear cut backfield is kind of, going to have to wait a little bit in my mind. You still got that
Mm-hmm.
R.J. Harvey was drafted, in the second round? He's still got a lot of stock to him, but
Oh yeah.
I think Dobbins proved last year he was exactly who we wanted him to be in Baltimore with the Chargers, and so there's a lot there. But I was curious, Greg, if there's really any of these guys, doesn't have to be a high up guy, but any of these guys that you look at and you're like, oh my God, that situation is too perfect to not love this for offensive players.
I well, I mean the one off the top of my head, and this is just kind of cheap because he's going to be the offense for that team is Genty with
I
the
think it
Raiders.
needs said.
It needs said he's
Agreed.
gonna be the guy. In terms of like other situations that are just gonna like that are gonna warrant a lot of workload to figure that out from that sense. I haven't gone
And we
too
can
deep
let's toss
into.
out the other one too, just to be sure. Marion Hampton is there. Let's just toss it out like it is. He's another one that deserves to be. He's not Ashton Genty at all, but he deserves to
No, but
be said in this type of conversation.
I would also point out too that like if we're not gonna necessarily like hold our breath
RJ
because
said,
if we're not
"Imagine
gonna
both
hold our
hosts' cameras working," and a text to me just so you know.
I'm just gonna point out here too, like if we're not gonna like make a big deal about J.K. Dobbins going to the Broncos with R.J. Harvey there, we shouldn't make this. We should have the same conversation the Chargers and having Harris and Hampton, essentially. Because, I mean, there's not that much of a difference between a first and second round running back being able, because you're looking at workloads kind of similar from that perspective as well. Like, I'm still expecting Harvey to get a big workload in Denver because I think Sean Payton like secretly likes being able
Interesting.
to utilize multiple backs in that situation as well. I think he lucked out with Kamara being such a bell cow, but like even when Kamara was there in New Orleans and Payton was there, like he still rotated guys in from time to time as well. So like I think he'll still utilize him
Well,
effectively.
he walked into a system where he had Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara was the best shifty running back we. I mean, I think he's one of the best running backs we'll ever see in terms of just like what. Here's how I word it. He is some generational version of like play style wise, and you're going to smack me. He plays similar to the stories I heard about Walter Payton, Sweetness, where you're just like, how did he do that? Holy crap, he's amazing. But also, like, is he always going to be in those conversations? I don't know. He's probably not going to be in the greatest of all time, but Alvin Kamara is one of the best running backs we've seen play. And so for me, he backwalked into a situation
Yeah.
where Mark Ingram was already the stud. When Mark Ingram left the Saints, not a single Saints running back not named Taysom Hill had any relevance. And so I do want to catch you there where, like, sure, Peyton had some guys that were half decent down there, but none of them touched. And it was because Mark Ingram was already a huge stud. And you slapped yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So did you like the Sweetness comparison?
Slightly, yes. I did. Yes, I did.
Fair. Should we not see you, Derek? Najee, you're a firework. Yes. So I am on my back deck. That's a good one, Sid. I'm on the back deck. My Wi-Fi works, but I'm on Kat's laptop because my PC's upstairs and the Wi-Fi doesn't reach my PC, and I don't want to bring my PC downstairs. So you all can hear me talk, and here is my face. We'll give it a shot, and then if it doesn't work again, I'm going back to just audio. Screw you, RJ. He's on the back deck.
Just
Mark.
a nice face.
He's got no signal. Thank you, Sid. And
It
it's
is,
lagging
like I said,
crap
this
again.
is
All right, let's go through some other names here. Did you freeze again? Did I freeze?
Did I freeze? No, yeah, you're fine. Go ahead.
Killing the camera. There, I killed the camera. We're back.
All right.
Another name that I do really love and hate the landing spot. It's infuriating, but Quinshon Judkins. He was one of my favorite backs coming out in this class. He finds himself in a Cleveland, I want to say committee where he's the best guy because Jerome Ford was not a franchise running back. Jerome Ford
He
had
held
a
his
very
own
good
very well,
couple games
very
filling
well
in
for
for
them
Nick
last
Chubb,
year.
and I think when it's all said and done, Greg, he might be the best RB3 in the NFL.
Okay. Is that you though, kind of holding stock in the fact how much you love Dylan Sampson though?
That is me saying Dylan Sampson is a better football player.
Okay. So I'm fascinated then by how this is going to work because we're all kind of like Cleveland is also in a weird situation because like Watson's probably not going to play all year, so they're going to have three quarterbacks potentially getting time there with Pickett, with
I
Sanders,
think Watson's
and
done
with
in the
Gabriel.
NFL. I don't think he plays another snap in the NFL.
Okay, well, barring that though, we at least are going into the situation where the Browns are going to have three quarterbacks to be able to duke it out. None of these guys I would be able to trust their arm strength
You
to
wouldn't
be
say
able to make
four?
plays downfield. Who's the fourth? Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shador
Joe
Sanders.
Flacco, Kenny Pickett.
Oh, Joe Flacco. I forgot about Joe Flacco.
Joe
My bad.
Flacco.
Completely forgot about Joe Flacco.
He's
Okay,
the best
so
quarterback on the roster.
which is sad, very very sad. As good as Joe Flacco was for the Colts, which is another sad situation that we'll get to down the line and stuff, but it is sad that Joe Flacco is still a very good quarterback for multiple teams in the NFL potentially. But no, in terms of the back situation though, like I think Jerome Ford like held his own very well last year as the lead back when Nick Chubb was like still kind of banged up to start and got some like sporadic playing time near the end. But they're going to have to utilize multiple running backs to be able to make that offense work, essentially. Because, like, I don't trust most of their quarterbacks to be able to make plays downfield, especially the receiver core that they're working with, who, like, their number one receiver off the top of my head is probably what, Cedric Tillman? It's
Jerry
not Amari
Jeudy,
Cooper.
Cedric Tillman.
Oh, Jerry Judy. Jerry Judy. I forgot about that. Yeah. I just don't trust that offense to be able to make big
Yeah,
plays. So like
I'd still
you're
put Judy at
probably
the
going to
one. That's still like
utilize
a
that.
blue chip prospect and a route runner.
So you're going to utilize more backs in that offense and stuff, and I don't think they're going to utilize a Shanahan level type offense that uses 4 running backs or anything like that. But depth is probably going to be important for them. That maybe you never know. Judkins does have just have elite level speed to be able to make something happen from that. I don't want to say that they're like the smash and dash situation with him and Samson, but it's very possible. I am intrigued though by you having higher faith in Dylan Sampson than Quinshon Judkins though. It's an interesting take on your part, I think.
Well, I don't think I have. I don't. No, I said Jerome Ford was the 3. I like Quinson Judkins. I think Judkins is the 1. I think Judkins is the first and second down back. But I think they bring in Dylan Sampson for every passing down, and I don't necessarily know who's on goal line. You would assume Judkins right now. I mean, he at Ole Miss was one of the better running backs in the country, and then he goes and he's with Travion Henderson, who's the speed to his kind of full. For me, everyone liked Henderson for the speed aspect, but I thought Judkins was the closest thing we saw this year to somebody who could touch Genty. Now Hampton is a guy that we both like, but Judkins to me is a guy where I'm like, okay, that's a professional running back. Like that guy does this thing for a living. Sampson is another guy who does this thing for a living. I think the tough thing with Dylan Sampson is when he's in Josh Heigel's system. There's a reason Nico Amilaveva left the system. He left the system to get more money, sure, and he's probably a selfish piece of crap. I don't know the kid. But the other reason he left it is because they run 4 wide receivers. All of them are out in the numbers, nobody in the slot, which leaves a ton of space open for guys like Dylan Sampson to get a bunch of catches underneath and get the first down and tight ends eat. And this offense that Tennessee runs is really kind of a one read offense. If the streak's not there, then you need to move with your legs. And so a guy like Dylan Sampson can have an amazing game in that offense. That being said, I think that was a huge reason why Dylan Sampson fell, is that he's a little bit older, is that offense spread out so much that he was able to have a big game. But I'm on the contrary of that. I believe that the guy, yes, he might have had a good games because of the system that were available for it, but I think it's you have a good game because he's the perfect guy I wanted the Steelers to take. And I like Caleb Johnson. I think Caleb Johnson gives us something that we wanted Najee to be, and I'm excited to see him. But when it's all said and done, I think Dylan Sampson was the most locker room pro ready style running back, a guy that you want on your team, a guy that can do it all. He necessarily doesn't have home run speed, but he can catch everything you toss at him. And I think they're going to be a great 1-2 punch as much as I hate it.
Yeah, I think play scheme though is interesting with regards to judging running backs though, because running backs, it's you can only do so much with based off of the offense that you're asked to necessarily work in. Like if you're not like the old adage used to be what that like if a quarterback didn't work in a pro style offense, then you didn't trust them necessarily, or like like the spread like no huddle offense, like quarterbacks weren't necessarily judged as highly because it's all quick read, it's all predetermined, it's all that and stuff like that. I think running backs kind of like maybe fill that same void and stuff, that if you're not running like an I formation, like, single back type of offense, then maybe you're judged kind of differently because of the fact you're asked to do things differently based on that.
Tennessee has an offense. Tennessee, you can't file Tennessee's offense as pro or college. It's
Okay.
not it because here's the thing: pro style offenses that are run versus let's say Ole Miss's offense versus Alabama's offense, or Texas's offense this upcoming year with Arch will be very pro style, right? There will
Mm-hmm.
be, well, maybe not full pro, Garrett Nussmeier, stuff like that, where yes, they're still coming out of the shotgun, but the pro style of it is that they can make moves at the line and things. Heigl's offense, and this is the thing about kind of college football a little more, is it is built to be a scheme. It's built to be a system. So I think that Dylan Sampson benefited from the openness of the scheme they were in. but he has all the tools, he has the mindset, he has the ability for me to thrive in any system. If Dylan Sampson goes to USC, I think he's a great running back there. If Dylan Sampson goes to Ohio State, I think he has a role there. If he would have gone to Michigan, he's a running back that deserves to be in the NFL from what I've seen from him. I just know, and I'm more speaking to people who think there's an inflation due to the system.
Well, I don't want to say inflation necessarily. I'm more so curious about like being able to scout and judge a running back based off of how they look in a certain offense. Like, I would be curious if,
Yeah.
because offenses are so much more dynamic now in the NFL, where like they're still kind of basic, like single back, high formation, like, you know, being able to like trips receivers type concepts and all that. That's pretty basic. Now there's like different types of formations and schemes to go with it, kind of like how Shanahan utilized an outside zone concept and all these other type of personnel that you want to be able to handle the workload that you're going with now. I'm curious though if like, because not all offenses in college translate to the pros, how they essentially judge that type of person and how they're going to fit in an NFL offense. And I think with Sampson, I was worried how it would go against him because of how Tennessee's offense is a little different, as you've said, compared to like how the NFL will run it. And also because of the fact
it did go against him. He went to the 5th round.
But also he's going to a Browns team that still has a pretty good offensive line, even though it's older. It's still like a very good interior offensive line that's going to be able to pull very easily to make holes for that offense when they utilize a rush attempt. So I think with Sampson, the thing that's going to make it work is like, okay, in a outside zone concept, or even any type of offense that Cleveland's going to run, where they're going to be able to be run heavy and then pull the guards to be able to attack holes, is Sampson the type of running back that's going to be able to attack the holes on the inside and be able to also make plays from that and utilize the vision to be able to extend the plays and be able to pick up on blocks that are coming up from the receivers and be able to make plays happen. I'm curious if he translates that well to the pros, and I'm willing to believe that he can do it. It's just maybe that being at Tennessee, he wasn't necessarily asked to do it as much. So it's judging from that perspective of, hey, do we think we can teach that to him? Go ahead.
Let's play a game.
Okay.
We're going to look at the other rookies from this year, and you tell me which running back you'd rather have. And we're going to start with some what I would consider to be easy ones.
Okay.
Dylan Sampson or the Quint Allen?
Dylan Sampson.
Which actually, it's not terribly easy because I do love Quint Allen, but I agree. I'm with you there. Dylan Sampson or Devin Neal?
Oh, Dylan Sampson.
Yeah. Dylan Sampson or DJ Giddens?
Dylan Sampson. I did like DJ Giddens, but I would still take Dylan Sampson.
Okay. Both of those are guys that I loved. I think Devin Neal falling as far as he did to go to New Orleans is a bit alarming, and I think Giddens going to Indy sucks. I think he has a role there, but I think it sucks because I thought he could have some actual thing there. So
I think Giddens actually landed in an okay spot because I can't imagine Jonathan Taylor is probably the lead back in Indy for another 2-3 years. And they got Giddens on a rookie contract. So I could see Giddens maybe getting some playing time on third down, or maybe even getting some like extra legwork to spell Taylor and stuff, and maybe supplant him as a starter probably within like a couple years. So like I think Giddens end up in a good situation actually.
Dylan Sampson or Trevor Etienne?
Dylan Sampson. Trevor Etienne was way overdrafted. Way overdrafted.
I love Trevor Etienne.
I know you did.
I think if he sorts out his fumbling issue, he'll be fine. Dylan Sampson, we're going to get a little tougher now, or Cam Scatabo?
Dylan Sampson.
That's interesting.
I like Cam Scatabo's compete.
Scatabo is a guy we. Yeah. Keep going.
I liked his compete, and I think he can do more than is let on. But I still think, I think Dylan Sampson was a was a bit more could be a bit more dynamic in the pros compared to Scatabo. I'm curious how Scatabo like adapts to the pro
Scat
game,
scares
and
me, man.
I think he can do it, but I think there's going to be a big adjustment for Scatabo. I think Samson doesn't have as much of an adjustment period compared to Scatabo will.
Yeah, I think the if I'm looking at the two of them, what that offers me is somebody who will go out there and will die on the field. The problem there lies he will then be somebody who is completely and utterly throwing up on the sideline in the fourth because he gave everything in the first and
Right.
second and third. That Arizona State game, I mean, and hear me out. I think Arizona State, I'll say this, I'm not alone on this take. I think they have a top five quarterback. I think they have the number one receiver. I think they have a team that is primed and ready to make the playoffs, and I think they're going to be very, very good this year. That all being said, he was their entire team last year. So we're
Mm-hmm.
walking into a Sam Levitt. We're walking into I can't remember his name, the wide receiver Jordan Taylor or something like that. Um, he's going to be the top receiver in this class, and I'm going to look it
Mm-hmm.
up too. And still, Scatabo was the top guy last year.
Yeah, which is impressive when you think about like how many prospects that Arizona State team has coming out this year. I didn't realize it after like
Jordan Tyson,
especially like
damn it, Jordan Tyson.
well especially after like listening to all the NFL SC stuff and realizing how many really good players are on that Arizona State team. Like yeah, this is actually a much better team than just Cam Scatabo. It's just Scatabo got so much of like the I don't want to say hype, but he got so much of like the focal point because of the fact that he was utilized so much to be able to make that team work.
100%. Let's go Cam, Dylan Sampson or Bashal Tootin.
I like Bashal Tuden, but he was more of a speed demon. He was not a complete back. So like I would go Dylan Sampson.
His fumbling still scares me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't believe that anybody should take these guys like Dylan Sampson over these guys, but Caleb Johnson, R.J. Harvey, Quinshon Judkins, Trevion Henderson, and Omarion Hampton, Nash and Jenny. I think we can all agree Dylan falls behind them. Here's what I'll say. I had a good discussion of Dylan Sampson, Caleb Johnson before we drafted Johnson, and I do
Yep.
think Dylan Sampson was a better back in college than R.J. Harvey. I think R.J. Harvey was highly drafted based off what he could be. That all being
Mm-hmm.
said, situation, draft stock, you trust that the people who get paid a lot of money to do the due diligence know a little bit more than we do. Like Bashal Tootin, like you said, he's a fast guy. Guys like Jaden Blue, guys like Cam, they're all so specific. Dylan Sampson is an NFL running back that doesn't do one thing terrifically. All of those guys do one thing terrifically, and so I completely understand why he went where he went and why he went. But I think that's kind of the line of guys I'd look at there.
No, I'm with you. I think it's I mean, I can make a case. I can make a case for him being better than R.J. Harvey. That's for sure. I can make a case for him being on equal parts with some of those guys as well. But I think it just came down to like which running back did you prefer based on like age, based on speed, based on body height, body
Yeah,
and body weight and height and all that stuff. But I'm still with you. Like, I think Dylan Sampson will absolutely carve out like a spot for him on this Browns team because, frankly, I think the running backs are going to be the focal point of that entire offense. I don't trust the receivers to be as good, be productive this year. I don't trust. I don't. I'm going to ride the tight end carousel with with Njoku probably in like week 13 or 14, but that's about it.
well, they
Which
have David Njoku, Harold Fannin Jr., they got Brendan Bates.
I
The wide
forgot they have
receivers, so
Harold
they
Fannin
have a
Jr.
receiver that I'm
Oh
going to
my
let you guess here.
god.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god, that's gonna be
If we're being real,
fun.
I would assume Harold Fannin Jr. plays way more of a wide receiver role. He is a large wide receiver. He
Yes, he is.
is one of the most exciting prospects I've seen, and unfortunately the last exciting prospect at tight end I fell in love with was Darnell Washington. They're very exciting for very different reasons, but we'll see. But the other receivers that actually are worth a shit on the Cleveland Browns, worth a crap. Sorry, apologies. That's $1 in the jar. Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, David Bell, I love out of Purdue. They have Jalen Gill and Caden Davis, kind of Flyers, DeAndre Carter, I believe Georgia out there, and Deontay Johnson.
Not.
My cousin also just messaged me on Facebook and said, "Tell your buddy he needs to oil that chair. That squeak is high pitched."
Me? I don't even hear it that much, honestly. I don't know what to tell you. That's strange. Are you sure they're not? Are you sure they're not hearing the nature outside in your house right now from the squeaks? Because that's where I'm hearing it from.
If yeah, that is a lot of nature. But if you bounce back the same time that this bird's going off, maybe that's what it is. Whatever.
Maybe because
all right, other things I want to talk to you. Yeah, go for it. Offensive, defensive rookie of the year. Where is your head at in terms of if you were betting an amount of money that mattered to you? And I have, just so you know, I have the list of all the rookies' positions up. So we can go through, let's walk through just as a casual reminder, the top 20 rookies from a dynasty perspective, okay? Ashton Genty, Las Vegas. Marion Hampton, a Charger. Tet, a Panther. Travis Hunter, Jacksonville Jaguars. Henderson is a Patriot. Judkins is a Brown. Matthew Golden is a Packer. Colson Loveland, a Bear. Tyler Warren, a Colt. Igbuka in the Bucks. R.J. Harvey in Denver. Luther Burden went to Chicago. Cam Ward in Tennessee. Caleb Johnson in Pittsburgh. Trey Harris in the Chargers. Jaden Higgins for the Texans. Jack Betch for the Raiders. Bashal Tootin Jacksonville. Cam Scatterbo, Giants. Some other notable ones. Jackson Dart for the Giants in the first round there, which was a big one for them. If you were to go for offensive rookie in the year, is it pretty much Ashton Genty or bust, or are there other situations where you're like, you know what, this actually could work out?
I would absolutely throw Marion Hampton in there, especially because of the fact that he's going to be in a team he's going to be playing for a team that's going to be competing for a playoff spot. I'm not saying division, but like the Chargers are absolutely competing. Definitely no quarterback I would consider, obviously. Tight end, I'm not even going to think about. No one's going to have the year that Brock Bowers did. And Brock Bowers probably did. I don't even remember. Like, Brock Bowers didn't win Rookie of the Year, did he? I don't think he did.
I'll look it up while you keep talking.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, Brock Bowers had probably one of the greatest offensive seasons for a rookie you'll ever see at tight end.
Who?
There's no way. I don't see a tight end. I don't see a tight end doing anything
like that. It was Malik Neighbors. No, it was Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels deserved offensive rookie of the year.
That makes way more sense. Yeah, you're right. But no, Brock Bowers, I don't see a tight end winning it. Receiver, I think Tet's gonna be a slow starter for Carolina. He's going to be looked at as the number one, but I think it's going to take him some time to like, get used to the NFL game and to be able to use his height and his weight to his ability. So I'm not sold on him just yet. Yeah. Matthew Golden's not a bad take because he's in an offense that's going to be throwing the ball a ton without like a true number one receiver. So like I think that's not a bad,
man. Like, I still hate that landing spot.
Is it because you don't trust Jordan Love, or is it because of the amount of receivers that are there that you have no idea what to expect from them?
Dude, so many. They have Jaden Reed, who everyone loves and is great. They still have Watkins. They still have Dobbs. They still have Wilkes. They have Kraft at tight end. And I don't know, man. It was tough because you know how much I loved Golden.
Mm-hmm.
The moment I saw him, I was like, I don't know why everyone likes Bond. This Golden guy's the guy. And then he runs a crazy 40. He has some crazy route running ability. He's a very good receiver. But you have a room full of all very good, young, highly drafted receivers. Jaden Reed, I believe, was a third. Watkins, I believe, was a first. You walk in with Wicks being in the fourth, I want to say. And then you sit there and you're like, all right, we got Golden in the first. And don't get me wrong, it's good, but like you got Josh Jacobs there. I think Jordan Love having a ton of talent's awesome. And I think they made the right decision there. but it just sits with me weird that you bring in a guy who does the same thing that your number one did last year in Jaden Reed, which is the smaller, kind of faster route running, end around type receiver. And so I trust their coach. I think they'll figure it out, but I have no expectations for Matthew Golden in terms of fantasy output. And I hope he proves me wrong. I love the kid. I just hate that spot.
You hate the fit that he's in, essentially. Yeah, I mean, I just think that no one has taken like the reins as the true number one in that offense, though. Like we all, I think everyone thought Watson was going to be the one to do it, but like he just never did.
Yeah.
Dobbs was always hurt, so like he never got the chance to. I think Reed was the closest to being able to be a one, and I could see the consistency with him, but there's no explosiveness with his like game. So like it's if we're looking at that situation, I think Golden has like the perfect mix of being able to be able to be explosive in the field, but then also has the catch reliability that I think is going to be utilized so much. So I could see that there. I don't, like I said, no tight ends I trust. Running backs, those are the obvious top two. I think receiver, I also wouldn't be opposed to like one of Noel or Higgins in Houston, just because like what CJ Stroud says, man, like he's got an arm, he's gonna use it. So like he's always gonna shoot. I like because I mean like if you look at their offense, like Nico Collins is the number one. Like he's always like banged up. I think he's still. Is he coming off of like a torn Achilles or something? If I remember correctly. I know he's coming off something. Yeah, so like he might not be 100% healthy. They don't have Stephon Diggs, I don't believe anymore. So like, and I don't. And I look at their offense like
it was
someone's going to have to
hamstring injury in week 5 and was placed on IR.
Yeah, so like someone's going to have to make plays for CJ Stroud, and which one's it going to be? Is it going to be the big body guy in Jaden Higgins, or is it going to be Jalen Noel, who's the burner and is going to be able to make plays in space? So I could see one of them
especially with
doing
Tank Dell injured as well. It's kind of sucky situation.
Yeah, so I think because of how CJ Stroud likes to throw the ball deep, I think Higgins is an outside. I think Higgins is a good bet for Rookie of the Year, perhaps based on that.
What are the odds that we have the first ever offensive Rookie of the Year, defensive Rookie of the Year be the same guy in Hunter?
I would love to see it. Because my problem with this is that
here's the reality of the situation for you is that Liam Cohen was the first hire. And so the first hire, meaning the GM was hired after him, meaning all the other coaches were hired after him. So Liam is the guy that leads the charge.
Right.
And if he walks in and goes, hey, defense, sorry, you guys just lost the number one corner in the draft because I want him on offense, they kind of have to listen. But I don't think you take a guy like Travis Hunter if he's not going to play both positions significantly.
So I'm trying to figure this out in my head. In order to get Offensive Rookie of the Year, I imagine you need at least 1,000-yard season. Bare minimum, 1,000 yards.
Or everyone else sucks.
Yeah, but again, if we're looking at the player, I imagine you need at least in order for him to get both offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year, he's going to probably 1,000-yard receiving and 6 interceptions.
I don't think any of these other receivers are 1,000-yard receivers, though. I think Thielen's still the one, and they still have Leggett in Carolina. As much as you know, I love him. Ted. I think that Matthew Golden's going to get lost in that locker room. I think Luther Burden is wide receiver 3 on a very talented with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze ahead of him. I think Trey Harris has a decent chance to be somebody, even though I have him as my bust guy, just because of
you do not like him.
True
That's
talent
true.
there. But when you look at all these receivers, I don't think I'm not sniffing 1,000-yard receiver in this class. And so I understand what you're saying because Genty and Hampton will each have a very good rushing total. And I think Cam Ward is going to have a good year. Like, I do really believe in the kid. And I think Jackson Dart, when he comes in at week 4, I think that he's going to have a great rookie year as well. I'm not really scared of Warren or Loveland. I think they're going to be great for what they need to be, but not for the rookie of the year thing. But the real competition, because I do sit here and go, hey man, Travis Hunter, he's up there. The real competition is for defensive. Abdul Carter in New York coming in there and just being a guy that we know is going to be a freak. Michael Williams walking into a San Francisco defensive line where he is just able to be an amazing guy. And also, Jalen Walker, the speedster, heading to Georgia is amazing. I really do think Derek Harmon, next to our defense, has really good shot at Defensive Player of the Year. And then you look at a guy like Jade Barron, who's playing next to Pat Surtain. You're not throwing to Pat Surtain. Jade Barron has a great chance at a couple picks this year. And Malachi Starks slipping again to the goddamn Baltimore Ravens, where you're sitting there going, well, they're not throwing towards Kyle Hamilton. I honestly sit here and I think, man, like, I mean, shit, even Jihad Campbell to the Eagles. I honestly think it may be harder for Travis Hunter to win Defensive Player of the Year than offensive.
Yeah, and you didn't even bring up James Pierce either, which I know you're kind of like hit or miss on him, but like he's in an ideal situation for him.
I love him. I just think he is all potential. That's all word.
Yeah. I had a long conversation with Davis about how I felt about the Atlanta draft class, and like the more I think about it, it's like, damn, you got two pass rushers on that team, but they're both different pass rushers.
Well, and they gave up a first to move. It just makes no sense. But I'm happy they got Pierce.
But I think Jalen Walker's the better player. Don't get me wrong, but like in terms of the guy that's going to produce the more stats, it's Pierce.
Because I think Walker's a traditional linebacker, and you think he's a very, very talented edge rusher. And the problem is he's both. But James Pierce is edge.
But like the thing about that too, like, do they? I keep bringing this up because like I feel like I had this conversation before. Like, does Atlanta runs a 3? Do they run a 3-4 or 4-3?
I would assume a 4-3 because Grady Jarrett played defensive tackle, not nose tackle, and so I assume they run a 4-3.
Okay, so if they run a 4-3. Pierce is in an ideal spot then because he is a hand in the dirt 4-3 edge guy that can come off the edge and all that. Walker is not in a good situation because he's not that type of edge guy. If he's gonna be a 4-3 linebacker, his stats are not gonna like sync up to being in terms of blitzing. He can still be dynamic in the field and drop coverage, potentially be able to get interceptions and tackles for loss and all that. But if you're going from just a pass rush perspective and all that, then Pierce is your better bet then because he's gonna actually load up on those values then perhaps.
Yeah, no, fully agreed there. I think Pierce is the guy that was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick and just didn't get there. So I'm interested to see. And I do think Atlanta, as you said, had a really good draft. So we'll see.
Which is also why I am pounding the table, why I'm not ready to give up, why I'm not giving up on Luther Burden at all. Luther Burden coming into this year was a top 3 talent in this class. Top 3. Okay. He was the everything guy from Missouri. You know how I am about guys that like do everything for their team, and is like the guy that's like the reliable.
Yeah, you love Traylon Burks.
I also love Deebo Samuel, motherfucker. So I don't want to hear it. Just saying. But man, yeah, sure. I'm telling you, like he is going to become like a guy that is relied on so much for that Bears team. Like, let's think about this too. DJ Moore's probably like not going to be there for another year or two. So like Burton's in the prime spot to get the number 2 spot. And hell, if we're looking at this, like between Romadunze and Luther Burden, they both are like neither one of them are like the bigger bodied like physical point of attack type receiver and stuff. Like Burden and like Adunze is the burner. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's bigger for a burner, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, he's not like the physical like 50-50 catch guy and stuff. He's the guy that can make plays in space, but so is Burden. Burden's the guy that's going to be like a scheme versatile type guy that he's going to like be able to like move around in that offense based on how they utilize him effectively. So I think Burton's in another great spot to be able to open some eyes right there as well and make some plays happen for that Bears offense. That I think that I'm curious how we look at in a couple months when we do our like big NFL season preview, what our thoughts are on the Bears this year. Because like you can look at them as like the team that like they won the offseason by drafting so well, they like redid the offensive line and all this bullshit and all that. But how often do the teams that like win the offseason actually do well in season? You know? Like it's kind of like
Yeah, it's give or take there. I think what they're doing. So just to read off some names, they have DeAndre Swift, a running back, Roshan Johnson, who I like out of Texas. They got Kyle Monangai out of Rutgers, a guy that I loved
mhm.
heading into this. Their wide receivers, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden. And then you get into some no names like Alanada Zacchaeus. You got Devin Duvernay, Miles Boykin. Just names there. Tight end, they bring in Colson Level and they still have Cole Kmet, which is fine. Offensive line, Braxton Jones, Joe Tooney, huge. Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, Darnell Wright. That is the best line I've seen the Bears have maybe ever.
Yeah.
Defensive side of the ball. Montez Sweat, Grady Jarrett, Gervin Dexter Jr., Shamar Turner, who they got in this draft, who I adore,
Mhm.
and then Deoga Miguel, which is fine. They bring in Edmonds. They re-sign Jalen Johnson. They have Zoff Frazier come into this class. They have Kevin Byard at free safety. Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon are still both there. They have Sean Wade, who we all love. And then they have Noah
Mhm.
Sewell, the linebacker out of Oregon, in this as well. Here's how I'll word it. If this Bears team does not do well, we have officially seen Caleb Williams be one of the biggest busts I can remember. They bring in Ben Johnson from the
Wow.
Lions, the offensive guru. They added an offensive line that every team in the league would be envious of. They draft not one, but two first round graded wide receivers while trading for DJ Moore, another one. They bring in a ton of running back help. They bring in Grady Jarrett, Montez Sweat. This is, to me, a team that you would say is a quarterback away. And you also took a quarterback in which we were calling one of the generational greatest quarterbacks we had seen as a
Mhm.
prospect. And I won't say last year was bad. Last year was bad because of how good Jaden Daniels was. Last year for
Right.
Caleb Williams was a failure because of how good they were. He also got sacked a ton. He was on his ass a ton.
Mhm.
Didn't work out for him. If this team does not compete for that division, a division with the Vikings, a division with the Lions, a division with the Packers, I know it's crazy.
Which is a
If they do not compete for
competitive
that division,
division. Competitive
it
division,
it
man.
flipped from the laughing stock of the league to probably the best division in the sport. Now we got to see what
Mhm.
JJ McCarthy does. We have to see what the Lions do without their offensive coordinator, and we get to see what Caleb Williams can do with an actual offensive coach. That all being said, Caleb Williams has potential to be one of the greatest busts I've ever seen.
Mhm. I I struggle with giving him the bust tag so early because after a rookie season that every rookie quarterback I feel like who starts technically should have a season like that. I really do cuz like I think we get
Agreed, but
spoiled
they
too
did
much.
so much going into this season, is why it's a big emphasis. I give them the
I
pass last year. I'm with you. It's the
Yeah, but
Stroud
like
Bryce Young thing.
it is. It's because we see too many rookie quarterbacks that like just go off like a rocket when they first get in. And we think to themselves like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, why can't every rookie quarterback be like that?" But I also would imagine most of those rookie quarterbacks that have like a really good start, they're also like the ones that are most likely to have like a bit of a sophomore slump. Because I feel like they're trying to meet
Yeah.
those expectations are almost like extremely difficult to be able to come close to it. But I also imagine the quarterbacks that have that tough rookie year, 9 times out of 10, they're also going to have a pretty good, or at least like show improvement in their sophomore year, like Bryce Young, because now they're adjusting to the league. Now they are actually learning how to play in an NFL system and how to read defenses, and they probably have better players surrounding them because now teams are looking at being like, okay, what does this guy need to succeed? So when you bring that up of him being a bust, is that is that on him or is that a failure on an organization for not understanding what is needed to make him succeed then?
100% on him. And what I want to clarify is I said he now has the potential to be one of the bigger busts because
Mm,
he was the guy that knocked off Spencer Rattler. He was the
right.
guy that transferred with Lincoln Riley. He was the guy teams were supposed to tank for. He's the guy that was the next Patrick Mahomes. He's the guy that paints his fingernails. He's the guy that uh, cried losing a game. Neither of those last two things are anything you or I see as wrong, a flag, or anything wrong. I see them as
No.
very big moments of human being proof. But the point of the matter is, you're in a sport that is dominated by douche. You're in a sport that's dominated by this idea that the manliest of men need to be out there. And so he was under a microscope because he was allowed to be himself. That being said, you get into the first rookie year. You get into the rookie year for him. He looks pedestrian. He looks like a guy that was not the heir apparent of Patrick Mahomes. He did not even show me flashes of it. Then you get Jaden Daniels. Then you get, because here's the other thing, Greg. Jaden Daniels had a system that, yes, they had the second overall pick. They were better than that, right? We can agree
Mm-hmm.
with that, correct?
Oh yeah, they were. They
Drake
were. Yep.
May was on a team that was so much worse than Chicago, and he
Mm.
looked great. That to me is the bigger issue. You can say, well, Jaden Daniels should have gone one. Sure, sure. Who goes two if Jaden Daniels goes one? Because you have a really hard time telling me it's not Drake May at this exact moment in time. Meaning
No,
that
yeah, that's
it's
fair.
not just this whole situation about did the organization let him down or did he let himself down? It's a decision around how we evaluate these guys moving forward because you can't just take the big, large guy in Drake May because the Jane Daniels of the world take time. And then you look at the Cam Ward of the world. The Cam Wards of the world are taking 6 years in college, and guess what? He made more money there than he's going to make in the pros these first 4 years just playing
Which
in
is
Miami.
insane.
Oh, it's
Insane. Which,
awesome. But that is,
yeah,
again, and I know that I'm going full circle now. That's why there's no way in hell Arch Manning comes out this year. Just to say that again before Dre texts me.
yeah, fair enough on that. Which, by the way, not to get too far off topic, did you see? I think it was Big 12 Media Day or something that
Mm.
Prime had a had an interesting comment about, and
Cap.
it's a very fair comment about the salary cap situation that there
Yeah, he said he
essentially
wants
is
one,
now in
right?
college football. Yeah, he does want one, and this kind of like, and this goes back to like this long-standing like issue I've had with baseball for the longest time because there's no salary cap,
Mm.
because there's no parity in that sport. There needs to be parity in sports for it to thrive and grow. And the best example that I'm seeing of that is I'm just going to say the Oklahoma City Thunder, the smallest market in basketball, just won an NBA championship. And you know what happens when they won an NBA championship? They gave their three best players a combined 800 million
Yeah, did you
plus
see
in
the J
guaranteed
Will
money for
contract?
contracts. Yes, good
Yeah, I just
for
saw it.
him. Good for him. Good for Chet, by the way, for getting a 5-year, 285 mil. Good for them. But I'm just saying, like, if this was like, if this was not a salary cap league, you would never see contracts like that for Oklahoma City. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. There's a reason why so many players that are drafted by their teams are getting these mega deals. Whether you want to have the conversation of if they are deserving of it or not. The fact that teams like that are in that small area are getting big contracts like that speaks to why parity and why the salary cap is good, which is also why salary cap is probably needed in college football in the worst way because I give Deion Sanders credit for bringing it up. That's like, hey, we're struggling by the fact that we don't have as much money as some of these other schools, and therefore, like, that's why the college football playoff is dominated by it. That's why teams that probably spend the most money are going to be the ones near the end. Now, granted, Notre Dame, I doubt, didn't have the biggest NIL roster last year and still got to the college football playoff. Say what you want about Ohio State, like they were still really good.
Ohio State
But
had
I
the
am
biggest
100.
NIL degree roster we've ever seen in human history.
Yeah, yeah. So let's also point out here that I think that there's some caveats to it, but I am of the belief that there needs to be some. I'm with Prime on this. There needs to be some sort of salary cap, like with the NIL revenue sharing era model that's now coming out, and I'm going to be fascinated to see what that turns college football into, because we can now essentially turn the transfer portal into a free agency situation if we want.
Well, it already is. I mean,
It is, but
you
now
have
there's like a
guys
way to
who,
actually track it, which is awesome.
yeah. I think the tough thing is there's two kind of stories. There is a wide receiver who committed to Florida State, but he said he wasn't committing to end his. He was giving basically the way he worded it. He goes, "I am not closing my commitment stage, but I'm verbally committing to Florida State." And everyone was like, "What?" And it's because someone else could offer him more money and he'll go there, which I don't disagree with.
Hmm.
But then you get to the Bryce Underwood situation in Michigan, where this kid flips, and it's because Dave Portnoy and the owner of Oracle, the cloud service company, his wife. So the owner of Oracle went to like Purdue. His wife went to Michigan, and Portnoy and this lady put together is it 10 mil a year, something like
It
that
was
deal
something
for
like
this
that.
kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to the point where it's like, dude, do not get me wrong. I have said it. I believe you have said it. We both agree. If you are talented at a thing and someone is willing to pay you to do that thing, like if college football was still free for college kids, then I would say they need to just sit at home for 2 years and toss the football with their dad and then go pro, because you need to get paid. That being
Right.
said, the ability to give all Texas linemen millions of dollars through the booster or this and that, it's the same exact situation as Connor Stallion for me, Greg, which is that these large companies, also known as universities, are able to fund plane tickets and game tickets and all these things for scouting that the Bowling Green of the world, the Pitt even of the world, can't afford. And so if you're really going to get into a situation like, I don't actually know why Ashton Genty was at Boise State. Like I don't know, because that talent at a small school like that makes no sense in today's game. Makes no sense at all, because you can't tell me Alabama wouldn't have paid him more money or something like that. And so when you look at it from that perspective, there's just always going to be a level of concern from me in particular, but just sports fans, that these small schools are, we're no longer going to see small school heroes. They are gone
No.
unless there's a cap. Because if there's a cap, then I can get this max amount of money, and if I do that, I can still be Travis Hunter and go to Colorado. Now we know his journey there was a little bit different, but there really aren't these like small school heroes that we used to see. I think a cap will bring it a little bit closer, because then a school just needs. I mean, it's the same reason that, to switch sports a little bit, Rick Pitino did so well at St. John's. They had a ton
Hmm.
of people. That's why Rutgers gets 2 top 15 picks or whatever it was. They
Yeah.
had boosters. I think it makes all the sense in the world to do that. If you don't like that, you just have money. That's as simple as it is. If you don't like a salary cap for it, that means that you just have the ability to give a kid 15 mil to go to your school and you're mad about it.
Right. Because if we don't have the cap, essentially, where does it end with college football players? Like,
100%.
because I mean, we can end
Why even
up in
go
a
pro?
situation. Exactly. Or even that though, like how much is too much to be giving to high school freshmen to commit to your school then? Like where is the line drawn then in that situation? Because like think about it. Like I think what was there's been a couple like there's already been like I think two well-known like NIL things that have not gone over well. Like the one was Jaden Rashida, who like got from the Florida quarterback that got like a big time deal, then backed out of his commitment because I guess there was a disagreement about how much money he was making and has just
Ooh,
bounced around since then. There's also like a quarterback from there was a quarterback from USC. His name was Malachi.
Nelson.
Yeah, Malachi Nelson.
Yeah,
He
he was at
goes to
Boise State.
USC, goes to Boise State, and now he's somewhere else, and also probably not going to be getting like the same spotlight compared to like what his talent probably dictated at the time. So
He's
like
a UTEP
that's
minor, and the interesting thing is he went to Oklahoma when Lincoln Riley was there with one of the USC wide receivers, because they were high school teammates, and they won
mhm,
all these awards and all these national championships together. Both of them transferred to USC with Lincoln Riley, and
mhm.
then Malachi transfers out because Lincoln Riley named Moss as their starter. So he transferred
Yeah.
out to play. That was the first season. Malachi Nelson, and I can't remember the wide receiver. It was on Stock Exchange. They told the story, but it's the first season they did not play together. But Malachi Nelson, I'm with you. He's now a UTEP minor because they're the team that needs a quarterback and they'll pay him.
Yeah, but it's also like the logic of like, okay, like yeah, he's a 5-star quarterback and all that, but like if NIL was not a thing, he would have just sat at USC, waited his turn until he eventually got his opportunity when he was probably well ready. But instead, he bounces around thinking that he's going to get playing
Yep.
opportunity, and he hasn't gotten it yet. And now that hype of being a 5-star quarterback is essentially gone. And now you're playing at UTEP, which, listen, if he does like have if he balls out at UTEP and then like cashes that into like getting like a bigger opportunity his junior year when it's probably his draft year, and then
Yeah.
uses that as like a springboard to be like to show off and prove he's an elite quarterback. Okay, good for you, but you just wasted 2 years of development moving around to different schools, not getting any time to work whatsoever. So and you probably like moved around because you got NIL money. So that's money that was wasted without any return on investment from boosters in that sense. So what is the better situation for you then? Is it staying at a school?
Yeah, go for it.
Is it staying at a
Finish your thought.
school and learning about learning technique and still cashing your NIL money, or is it bouncing around, getting a paycheck, but you're not playing, you're not developing, you're going to the pros in that sense? So
If
what is it?
I am a kid that is playing college football, eventually, Greg, you have to have an honest discussion with yourself about how many guys go pro.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is the case, I am making as many millions of dollars in those 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it is,
Yeah.
COVID years still apply, that I can, because we all sit here and very much assume every 5-star recruit and every college quarterback would like to go pro. And I think that's logical. I think it's reasonable. I think that a large portion of them would like to go pro. Malachi Nelson is an interesting guy who, to your point, 5-star recruit, bouncing around a ton. He has probably made 5, 6 mil playing college football at
Yeah,
this point.
easily.
It's going to be one of those things where, hey, go get a real job or something. But making 5, 6 mil there, going into UTEP, let's say he makes another 1 mil there. Let's say he does get a decent, shot, and let's say like Michigan gives him a shot. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Michigan, or no, they got Bryson Underwood. Let's say Ohio State. Ohio State, they have a kid coming in this year. He does really well. He goes to the draft, yada yada. And a school like that gets him. It's another 3 mil. You're looking at 10 to 15 mil in a 4 to 6 year span.
Yeah.
That's enough for you to go, hey, the CFL's fun, or oh, the XFL's fun, and I'll go play a little bit and then do whatever. And I do think college football, allowing the amount of money it has, makes it so that the NFL is not the only goal because of how tough it is. I mean, how many guys have we seen be studs in college that just never make it pro?
Oh, plenty.
And so it's
Plenty.
interesting.
Yeah. But in fairness, like you're opening the door for a lot more high school athletes to be able to make money right off the get-go from being
A
able
lot
to
of life-changing money.
a lot of life-changing money way earlier than you're probably ready for in that
And
sense. Like no
information I mean, we're ready today with more information about how to invest that money. Uh, I mean, here's how I'll word it: that broke documentary will never get made again.
No, I'm with you. I think there has been so many lessons taught about what not to do with your
Yeah.
money, especially like what was the story about Trent Richardson where he said like he had like a bunch of guys like have Netflix accounts under his name and stuff and all that, and that's how he like slowly started realizing people were taking advantage of him and all that. Like, yeah, I mean, I think especially nowadays, like now it's not just about having money, it's how do you make more money. It's being a venture
Yep.
capitalist, it's investing, it's being partners and stuff like that, or real estate
Let's
and
be in
anything
this.
you
I
want.
mean, look at Kirk Benkert, the quarterback out of Virginia, went to the Packers. He's one of the biggest streamers on the planet because he took his quarterback knowledge and he plays NCAA and NFL online, and he talks about schemes and things, and he's very good at those games. I mean, there are a million other avenues of professionalism you can go. Now, if you asked Kurt Benkert, hey, Kurt, would you rather be a top five quarterback in the league or do what you're doing? Obviously, they'd rather be a top five quarterback in the league. But
Right.
sometimes in life, things just aren't falling that way. And I think it's becoming college football is now a job that it's a contract job for 4 to 6 years. And your job is to make as much money as humanly possible in that amount of time.
Yeah, but it's also fascinating that we're now opening the door for there's more opportunity in college compared to the pros now, which was never the case beforehand. Now if you're going to college, like yeah, there was plenty of opportunity to be like an elite level few, but now it's like okay, you can make life-changing money just attending college and
Yeah.
just as long as you're in tip-top shape and as long as you're putting effort in, then good for you. That's all you have to do in that sense. But like, yeah, I don't want to say it's making. I'm nervous how it's going to affect prospects for pros, or even like, do you even want to go pro in that instance? Because if you make as much money as you do in college, you could easily just be like, no, I'm done. I don't want to go to the pros. I've made enough money as that in that sense. So why bother? It's a potential thing.
Yeah. Oh, it very much is. It's interesting. I think it's going to be, at the very least, like a part of these conversations moving forward, which will be interesting there. So, yeah, no, I feel good. I feel awkward that you can't see my face. Feel good talking through these things though, and it's definitely funny that people keep texting me being like, "Your camera's not working." Thank you, I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
just keep saying
I'm
back,
glad
"Thank you for the
people.
view."
I'm glad people are paying attention at least. That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, cool, man. I feel comfortable with shutting it down, knowing that you can't see my shit. Next week, I can't promise the Wi-Fi will be better, but I'll probably have a better setup, in which case a webcam will work. And then the following week, hopefully, I get the Wi-Fi extender so that I can be at the PC and not have to think twice about it.
Yeah, well, what's funny is next week I will be from a different location than here, so that'll
Oh,
be
you dog
a
sitting?
fun treat. I am dog sitting next week. Actually, fun fact, the next 3 Thursdays I'm technically going to be dog sitting in some way. So,
Do tell.
so next week I will be in Meadville,
Okay.
dog sitting for Steph and her husband.
Oh,
You probably
nice. Go to
yeah,
the
so
Voodoo.
I am. I'm gonna try to go to the Voodoo while I'm there. I have not been to the original Voodoo, which is something I'm
No,
excited
God
for.
no. Meadville's
Um,
so far away.
oh yeah, yeah. I need to do that. So I'll be there next week, and then the week after that, I start a I start a dog sitting trek from that Thursday until a full week, and then Tuesday after that. So like 12 days, I think. So yeah,
Yeah.
12 days. Yeah. So like
Nice.
yeah, so I got dog sitting duties for 3 straight weeks, so it'd be nice.
Good. Well, good, man. Well, enjoy it. Obviously, I'll text you. I want to send that take to Josh. I'm going to send it around. I think it is harder for Travis Hunter to win Defensive Rookie of the Year than offensive. I like that take. I'm going to
Which is
ride that off into
fascinating
the
because
sunset.
it's fascinating because I think he's a better corner than receiver. So you're not wrong, but I think the competition is going to be a bit more
That's where I'm at.
tougher. And it's harder to judge corners versus like the stats of a pass rusher too when you think about
Facts.
it.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you for everyone tuning in, telling me my webcam was off. I do appreciate it. Greg, thank you for putting up with it. And we'll see you guys at some capacity next week.
It's nice being the one that doesn't have internet issues for once. It's nice. It's nice.
Good jag off. All right.
Hmm.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
All right. We are stopped. Yeah. I'm